Good evening, everybody. Welcome back to another vlog and another video. So, um, uh, tonight I thought I'd bring to your all attention here that it looks like this weekend here in Rochester, New York, it's kind of supposed to warm up pretty good this weekend. The thing is tomorrow. Tomorrow they're calling for it in mid upper 40s with AM clouds in the morning and PM sun in the afternoon. However, they say tomorrow here in Rochester, New York is going to be the better of the two weekend days. Um, Sunday is supposed to be warmer, low, mid, maybe mid upper 50s, but the weather's supposed to get a slight bit, I wouldn't say completely dangerous, but it's supposed to get pretty wild and stuff out there this upcoming Sunday, which will be the 24th of February, day after tomorrow, day after tomorrow, day after tomorrow, day after, day after tomorrow, day, day after, day after, day after tomorrow and stuff on Sunday. Yep. So got a little bit of a pretty good warm up for this weekend here in Rochester, New York. Weekend of tomorrow, Saturday, February 23rd, 2019, and then Sunday, February 24th, 2019, the day after tomorrow. But they say that's why the reason why they say that tomorrow, Saturday, February 23rd, 2019, here in Rochester, New York, tomorrow is going to be the better of the two weekend days, because just like I just said, they're just saying AM clouds in the morning and PM sun in the afternoon. But then Sunday, even though it's supposed to get a good bit warmer just for one day, it's really supposed to get quite windy. And as a matter of fact, we even actually have a high wind warning from 7 o'clock a.m. in the morning this upcoming Sunday, February 24th, 2019, all the way till 10 o'clock a.m. in the morning on Monday, the day after, which will be February 25th, 2019. So if anybody's going to take any walks up somewhere, tomorrow being Saturday, February 23rd, 2019, here in Rochester, New York, is probably the better day to do it, because Sunday sounds like it's going to get kind of dangerous in a way with the high wind and stuff. You know, they say that it sounds like it could get strong enough in some parts of the area, or in some areas where there could be a bunch of flying tree branches and down trees, even down power lines and stuff. Now, the fact is, throughout our time here at our place here in Rochester 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 here in Rochester, New York, the most amount of time that we've had we've had, you know, we've had ourselves without power here has been mostly, usually, I think, just like at least a good hour or a couple of hours, but a lot of people, there's been a bunch of other people that have been in situations where it's been days where they've been without power. The thing is, I think we have a pretty decent I think we have a pretty decent built-in generator here at our place here. So that's what I think explains it. And now the thing is too, it's also been just about 2 years ago since we had Well, actually, oh, Weather Channel's coming on. Yep, high wind warning all the way from 7 o'clock a.m. in the morning Sunday, all the way till 10 o'clock a.m. in the morning on Monday for here in Rochester, New York. But anyway, so as I was going to say, it's getting to be just about 2 years ago since we had the world's worst windstorm that we had in so many in years here in Rochester, New York. 2 years ago. 2 years ago. It sounds like on March 8th it will be 2 year anniversary of 2 year anniversary 2 year anniversary 2 year anniversary of the world's worst windstorm that we had in years here in Rochester, New York. Um, and I don't know, for those of you that live in Batavia, New York, I don't know if any of you even remember, but one big thing that I remembered was the wind. I remembered got so strong that as there was this double stack train passing in Batavia, New York, the wind was so strong that I remembered the story that it actually ended up blowing part blowing a huge part blowing a huge part blowing a huge part of the train off the tracks and causing quite a big causing quite a big mess. You know, double stack trains and stuff, when the wind is that strong, if it gets it just right, it could actually blow it right. It could actually blow it right off the tracks and cause a big mess, even cause a disaster, even cause a even cause a even cause even cause a disaster. And it kind of did in that big high wind that we had 2 years ago here in Rochester, New York. Here in Rochester, here in Rochester, New here in Ro- here in Rochester, New York. So I'm just kind of sort of letting you know, as far as the high wind warning we got coming up day after tomorrow, which will be Sunday, February 24th, 2019, day after tomorrow here in Rochester, New York. Well, first of all, when we had that big high wind, world's worst windstorm that we had in years here in Rochester, New York, I had happened to be working at the time, but while I was gone, this place had only lost power for like a minute or a couple minutes, and it came right back on. So that does kind of prove and explain that we do have a pretty good built-in generator here. I think I think you know, but my mom and stepdad, I remembered, were actually without power for a few days for a few days, because there was even parts of the in that world's worst high windstorm we had just about 2 years ago just about 2 year just about 2 years ago here in Rochester, New York. um, March 8th, 2017, 2 years ago. So, and there was definitely quite a bit of down power. There was definitely quite a bit of down power lines, and even a good bit of down telephone, even a good bit of down telephone pole, telephone poles, telephone pole, telephone pole, telephone pole, telephone poles and light posts and stuff that were down. And so there were so many people in trouble that, you know, they even had to have a whole bunch of other materials shipped from other areas and stuff, even from parts of out of state, I think, too. There was just so many people in trouble, so many people, so many down power lines, so many down telephone poles, and so many down light poles and light posts, that they didn't have enough currently at the time. They didn't have enough supplies currently at the time at their stations here in Rochester. They had to order. They had to order. They had to order it. They had to order it. They had to order. They had to order and have a whole bunch of new, a whole bunch more new materials and new replacement materials and stuff. And have it all shipped up here, even from parts of, well, definitely from some other areas and even parts of other areas out of state, you know. So, so I know not that we'll get in any situation this upcoming Sunday, the day after tomorrow, this upcoming Sunday, February 24th, 2019, day after tomorrow here in Rochester, New York, where we'd be without power for any extended period of time. You know, the fact of the way it really usually has been here, you know, just mainly a lot of the time, 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 just being without, just having power go off, actually have the power go off only for like a minute, 2 minutes, and then coming right back on, thanks to, I think, our built-in generator I think we got here. I don't think, as of now, I don't think we need to expect that we would be without power for any extended period of time as a result of the high wind that's in the forecast here for the day after tomorrow, Sunday, February 24th, 2019, day after tomorrow here in Rochester, New York. But, you know, if any situation like that should happen, you know, and you don't see a vlog for a day or a couple of days, you know, that's probably what's going on. But again, as of now, I think it's safe to say as of now, but I think I doubt that ending up happening with this big windstorm as of now. But, you know, we'll see what happens as the day goes on. I'll probably do a vlog and stuff early on in the day this upcoming Sunday, February 24th, 2019, day after tomorrow here in Rochester. Once the whole high wind event has begun, and see where we stand so far. I'm sure we'll probably hear a good bit of sirens from, you know, a bunch of police cars, probably ambulances, fire trucks, fire engines and stuff, because I'm sure that there's probably going to be the wind's probably going to be strong enough to cause a good bit of accidents and stuff here in Rochester, New York. So that's why I'm saying we'll probably hear a good bit of that, hear a good bit of police car sirens, ambulance sirens, first aid vehicle sirens, fire chief vehicle sirens, fire truck vehicle sirens, fire engine sirens, anything that all has to go with the emergency network for sure. As a result of probably lots and lots of car crashes, or more so down power lines as cars and other vehicles are passing by, as cars and other people are passing by. Well, I initially right now kind of have plans for Sunday afternoon to go to Mall at Grease Ridge for a little bit. I mean, usually here when we have like extreme like winter weather conditions, like heavy snow events, or some very, very cold wind chills like what we just kind of just pretty recently experienced not too long ago, a few weeks back, almost coming up on a month ago, just about. There was times where they had insisted that nobody around here really do any unnecessary unnecessary travel and stuff. It's even been that way in a couple of times in the summer when it's exceeded low to mid 90s and stuff. Where when the UV index will say, quote, unhealthy for sensitive. I mean, we got a while we got a while we got a little while we got a while before any of that will be coming around. You know, it's only latter half of February 2019 here in Rochester, New York. A week from today, we transitioned into the beginning of March 2019. So, um, basically, so, but anyway, but anyway, but anyway, so, so, of course, if I do any vlogging of maybe like windstorm aftermath on Monday, day after day after later in the day, we see a whole bunch of sticks and twigs down. Be some pretty good windstorm aftermath and stuff probably, which I'm sure we'll see quite a lot of. They say pine trees tend to be the most vulnerable and susceptible trees to falling over and blowing over in any kind of high wind and stuff. And also, another thing from that world's worst windstorm we had just about 2 years ago here in Rochester, New York, on March 8th, March 8th, March 8th, March 8th, March 8th, March 8th, 2017, 2 years ago. Remember driving around. I remember driving around and seeing a whole bunch of big tall down, not just seeing a whole bunch of big tall down trees and stuff, but tall trees that had fallen across people's driveways and stuff. Even did some damage to some people's front porches and stuff. That's really something. That's really something. That's really something. That's really something. And we even saw this one pine tree that had fallen right across the cemetery not too far from here. Not too far from me. Not too far from me. Not too far from here. Not too far from me. Not too far from me. Not too far from here and stuff. But anyway, I think it's as far as I'm going to bring the vlog and the video for tonight. If you enjoyed this vlog and this video, be sure to give it a huge thumbs up for sure. Be sure to comment down below, and we'll keep you posted on the latest on the upcoming high wind warning event coming up the day after tomorrow, which will be Sunday, February 24th, 2019, here in Rochester, New York. Day after tomorrow here in Rochester, New York. And even after the high wind warning has begun later on Sunday morning. So, till my next vlog and my next video, have a good night. Be safe out there. Peace.